Dear brothers and sisters, welcome to our Moments with God. Today's reflection based on Gospel of Matthew, chapter 23, 1 to 12. In today's Gospel, Jesus issues a strong warning about the danger of empty leadership, a life where words are plentiful, but action is painfully absent. The scribes and Pharisees knew how to talk about God. They knew the law, they were respected, and they held important positions. But the problem was this: their lives did not reflect the very truths they preach. They loved the titles, the greetings, the marketplace, the first seats in the synagogue, but they forgot the most important thing: service. Jesus says, "Do and observe all things whatever they tell you, but do not follow their example." That is a striking line. It's as if Jesus is saying their words are correct, but their lives are not. And that becomes a warning for all of us. Because whether we like it or not, we are exercise leadership in some way. As parents, as teachers, priests or religious, as older brothers and sisters, or simply as Christians called to witness in society. The question is, what kind of leadership are we offering? There are three things that we would like to reflect based on this gospel story today. First, walk the talk. Authentic discipleship is not based only on the doctrines and correct teachings, important as they are, but on the life that matches those teachings. People are hungry not simply for impressive speeches, but for credible lives, for Christians whose words and actions are aligned. Saint Francis of Assisi once said, "Preach the gospel at all times. When necessary, use words." Like Jesus, we must embody what we proclaim. Otherwise, our faith becomes a performance rather than a witness. Second point, serve, don't dominate. Jesus contrasts the Pharisees' attitude with his own. Whereas they tie up heavy burdens and place them on people's shoulders, Jesus lifts burdens and heals wounds. Real leadership always has a compassionate face. It doesn't crush the weak, but helps them stand. It doesn't demand to be served, but places itself at the feet of others. That is why Jesus says, "The greatest among you must be your servant." In the kingdom of God, service is not optional. It is the very definition of greatness. Third point, choose life over pride. Choose humility over pride. Our world often measures importance by titles, power, and visibility. But Jesus tells us very clearly, whoever exalts himself will be humbled, and whoever humbles himself will be exalted. In God's eyes, humility is not a weakness, it is a strength. It is the ability to recognize that everything we have is a gift, and therefore we can afford to kneel, to listen, to forgive, and to love. Titles disappears and honors fade, but a humble heart remains fruitful long after we live in this world. The brothers and sisters, this gospel is not condemnation, it is invitation. Jesus invites us to be credible disciples who live what we believe, to be servant leaders who lift others, and to be humble people whose hearts reflect the heart of Jesus. May God give us His grace to walk the talk, to serve generously, and to remain grounded in humility, so that our lives may point not to ourselves, but to Christ, who is our one teacher, our one master, our one Lord. May God bless you all.